Hi guys, it's Tammy with Pretty Presets. I was going to do a quick editing video of one of my indoor photos of me and the kids cooking. And I was going to show how I use the Clean and Creative workflow. So I'm just going to jump right in because nobody wants to watch a long video. So I'm going to start with the Pretty Presets Clean Creative Advanced workflow. I'm going to do a quick clean. Then I am going to, because it brightened it up over here where the light's coming in the window a little bit more than I wanted, I'm also going to come over here and use Recover Clipping, which is going to take the highlights back down over here so that the window and stuff isn't so blown out. So I'm going to do those two things first, and then I'm going to come down a little bit further and I'm going to add a blue and green pop. And the good thing about that is it doesn't affect your overall photo. It only affects things that have blue or green. So my chair and my son's pants and the candy jar and stuff like that, it brings out a little bit of the blue in those colors. Okay, over here, our faces and this side of the kitchen is still too dark to me. So I'm going to use a graduated filter up over here on the right side. I'm going to make sure that I have it turned to dodge or lighten. I'm going to drag it from the left side of the screen, and I'm going to drag it a little bit past us because it doesn't go all the way. You can see that's what the part of the graduated is. It filters it out gradually so there's not a line, a harsh line where it stops. So I'm going to push done. And I think that I'm actually wanting to do that one more time, so I'll click that again. It's going to bring up my pin. I right click and can just do duplicate. And that second one I'm going to pull over even a little further. Click done. And you can definitely see how much that's already, I'm going to show you quickly, before and after. That's already changed it a lot, but I'm not done. I also am going to use the Radial Filters. I'm going to click on that. It'll still be on dodge and lighten because that's the last thing I used. And you can see how it lightened my whole picture. That's because I don't have invert clicked. So I'm going to click invert, and it'll just put it there where I want it. And I'm going to have it more on the left side of me because the right side of my face excuse me, is well lit. So I'm going to pull this over here a little bit further so that it doesn't get too strong right there. I'm going to make a second one. The same thing, click invert so it goes inside the circle, and I'm going to put it over all of us, but the same thing, a little further to the left than center so that it lights up all this area that we are blocking the light from my window. So this is what I want to lighten up. Okay, and don't forget to click done. I am also going to use the brush tool, and I'm going to brush that same thing. It's still on dodge and lighten. My sweater is really dark, so I'm going to lighten it up, and my hair also is dark, and I'm going to run the brush on the flowers and the food right here that we're using, just to bring attention to it. Whatever has the light on it in your photo is what you're going to look at first, and obviously I want that to be us. And I'm going to use this brush on my son a little bit here where he's blocking his light, just like that. Okay, then I am going to come over here to the right side, actually click done, don't forget done. Over here on the right, I'm going to come down and I'm going to click this in under lens correction in your basic panel. If you have one of these other things clicked, you might not think that you have all these things, but you do. You just might be clicked into a different part of it. So basics, lens correction, enable profile correction. Look at the difference in the lighting when I do that. It's such a lifesaver on indoor images. Okay, and then I'm going to come back up here, and I will be in the color panel, and I've actually clicked on the word color. And that will bring up all your stuff right here. This panel, really, I didn't learn how to use it until, I don't know, a few months ago, but it changes everything. I mean, you absolutely control the color of your photo from this panel. I'm going to turn down my oranges a little bit, not the hue. You want to be in saturation. Gonna turn it down, not a lot. I hardly ever go past 10 or 15, and it's usually more like 5 to 7. So I'm gonna do right there at about, sometimes it is sticky. Okay, 9, and then I'm gonna come to my yellow, and I'm gonna turn the yellows down as well, just a little bit. I think that right there, 10 should do it. I like that. Then I'm coming back up to the top, and I'm going to bring up the shadows just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I think right about 20 is gonna be what I want. 20. And see how that, now you can see my sweater is actually purple, and this hidden stuff on the outside of the kitchen is starting to pop out a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna come back up here to my graduated filter, and I'm actually going to turn it to burn and darken, and I'm gonna come from the right side, and I'm just gonna go right there, the flowers, and it's just to bring a little bit more detail back in here so that it looks balanced. I don't want one side of the photo way, way, way lighter than the other. Okay, I'm going to come back over here to my brush, and I'm going to turn on the Eyes Sharpen, which I believe is in the Perfect Portrait set. I use it for more than just eyes. I really like it for sharpening up kind of the whole face. So actually, if you can see up close here, my front sun is a little bit out of focus. I did this with a tripod, and it wasn't the easiest thing I've ever done. So I can deal with it. I'll just take my brush here. I will run it down the edge of his face, his profile there, and then a little bit in this darker part of his hair. I'll come over here on my hair as well. And then my other son here in the dark part of his hair. Click done. Come back out. And the only spot that I'm seeing that I still feel like is dark is right here on the side of me. And this is kind of the hardest part about editing. It's finding what you want to fix or what you think is wrong with the photo. And not necessarily wrong, but how you can change it to make it look the way that you want it to look. That's a hard part of editing. You have to look at pictures and pick them apart basically, and sometimes that's hard. So I took my brush tool again, I turned it back to dodge and lighten, and I'm just gonna do a little bit right there on the other side of my face. And I mean, I could definitely use the skin smoothing around here, but if it was up close, I would, but this photo is not meant to be up close like that, so I'm gonna just embrace those wrinkles and ignore it. I also, though, right here on my counter, this would bother me in a photo. I actually have no idea what that is, but I would just use the clone, and I would actually turn it on heal, not clone, and just click them, and it'll pick another part here on the wood and fix it. Just because little things like that in a photo, they kind of do get your attention, and they can be a little bit annoying. So I do that, click done. I mean, there's still one there, but you get the point. I think the only last thing that I would do is come up here to the contrast, and I'm only gonna barely bump that up just a little bit to 5. That's it, just so that your photo doesn't look flat. You wanna have a little bit of contrast in your photos because you don't want flat photos. Okay, so that's it, just a few minutes. Obviously, if I wasn't trying to explain why I was doing everything, that would go a lot faster. So one more thing, down here, the reason that I wasn't adjusting like the noise reduction or sharpening or anything is because that's what this does for you over here, Quick Clean. It adjusts all that stuff for you. That's why I like it, because sometimes those can be, honestly, they can be kind of hard to adjust between getting too much and not getting enough. So I will click back here to before and after, and you can definitely see, I mean, this is dark. this is really dark over here, and looking at this straight out of the camera, you might think that it's really not going to turn out well, but with a little bit of editing, you really, really can get it how you want. So I hope that that helps you in some way with using the Clean and Creative workflow. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll definitely try and answer them. Thanks.